So I've never really had a lack mindset. Even when things weren't really working out, I've never felt broke or that success was too far away. I've always felt, rich, not just in money, but in vision, in belief, like nothing was ever too far out of reach. Just not here yet. Remember when there was a trend going around and it was like be a delulu, like be a delusional kind of thing? I've always had that kind of mindset way before this was a trend. There was like the lucky girl syndrome. Remember when they were talking about that? And I've always envisioned that since I got into the world of manifestation at only 16 years old. And it's something that it's not just a practice, but it's a way of life. When you talk about manifestation, people always ask, what kind of techniques do you do? Like, do you do the 3-6-9? Do you do this? Do you script? Whatever. But for me, it's more of a way of, puppy, I'm telling you. But for me, it's more of a way of living, a way of thinking, a mindset shift, and embodying my higher self. Yes, there's so many techniques and different things you can do, but it's more so how you live and how you act every day that really matters. It's kind of like fake it until you make it, but don't actually fake it, really believe it just before it shows up. Maybe you're not rich yet, but if you show up as your higher self, it's inevitable that it will come. We get what we put out into the world, and so many people are so negative, and then they wonder why so many negative things keep happening to them. I can't afford this, I can't afford that, and then they continue to not be able to afford that. The bills are piling up, and the bills continue to pile up because you're getting what you're putting out there. We don't get what we want, we get how we feel, the energy, the vibration we put out there. And people get upset when they hear people say that everything bad that's happened to you, you've actually manifested it. But what if you could flick the switch and start to manifest good things? That you could change the way of thinking and good things could start to flow in. There's a way, just wait. Even when I was younger and didn't really accomplish anything at that point, I always just had this feeling that nothing was out of reach for me, that I could accomplish anything I want. And I had no reason to feel that way, nothing to back it up, but it's just the mindset I decided to embody at such a young age. And that has truly changed the game. I remember being young when I was doing a bunch of different types of businesses. If you watch my last video, I listed 5 businesses that I launched before 25. But I remember like things were so inconsistent, and I would be wondering, when my next amount of money would come in. When am I doing the next set of lashes? When am I gonna do the next whatever? But the thing is, I always trusted that money would flow to me, that I would believe it's coming, that I'd go work hard, and that it would come to me, and it always did. Now, yes, I had to put the work in and work hard, but I did believe it, and it did always come to me. I was never stuck. I never had a lack mindset. But once you start to live your life this way, you see the people around you a bit differently. You can see the patterns. You can see the people that are negative and how their life is different. You can see the negative things that happen to them, the way they respond to it. You start to view things so much differently when you live life this way. Manifestation isn't just being positive, but it's truly being your higher self and embodying that energy, bringing yourself into the frequencies of what you want to receive. And so many people have no interest in learning that and just continue to have a bunch of negative things happen to them, but they don't care to change what they're doing. And if you're wondering, what the heck is a lack mindset versus an abundant mindset? I want you to think back to the last time you went somewhere, the mall, the store, wherever, and you've seen something you wanted and you just said, I can't afford that, I can't afford that. That is a lack mindset. Stop saying that. If you can't afford something, change it to, I'll get that another time. But once you tell yourself and you put it out there, I can't afford that, you will continue to be put in situations where you can't afford things. That is the big difference between a lack and abundant mindset, especially the way you talk about things. Cut that out. I have been wanting to talk about manifestation for literally years, but I just put it off and I said, no, I don't want to talk about that. It's so controversial. I don't want to put that out there. And then recently I just had such a strong feeling to start making videos about it. So if you're seeing this, maybe you were truly meant to see this, because I just feel that I have to put this out there and share this information. Because if this can help one person, then it's more than worth it to me. Growing up, did you ever have anyone preach to you that money doesn't grow on trees? Were you ever told that money's the root of all evil, that rich people are awful? What kind of things were programmed in your brain from a young age? That could be where your lack mindset comes from. Maybe you were told so many things, maybe you were told so many negative things about money growing up that you have to reprogram your brain. And it's okay to do that. And you might have to do that. And I encourage you to do that. I think for me at, a young teenage age, I realized that if all these people can do it, why can't I? And I've always had that kind of mindset, like what makes them so much better than me? And I think that's what really took away my lack mindset, that there's just so much possibilities. And of course, I'm not rich, I'm very far from it, I have a long way to go. But it's this thinking that I believe will get me to where I want to go one day. But I would never get there with a lack mentality and mindset, ever. Have you ever noticed people with a lack mindset tend to hoard on to time, energy, money, all those things? But people with an abundance mindset are more into investing. I don't want to say spending freely, but with less emotional attachment to it. They're fine to outsource for their time. They value things completely differently. It's a whole different way of life. Manifestation isn't just a vision board, it's embodiment. Show up as your higher self every day. What would she do? Where would she go? How would she act? How would she dress? Think of yourself in the best version of yourself. Maybe you're a multimillionaire. Maybe you have your dream brand, company, business, job, whatever. What would she do? How would she show up? How would she talk to people? What would she wear? What would her habits and hobbies be? And if they're different than what you're doing now, you need to change. And if you're thinking, oh, well, she would wear all name brand and I can't afford that, that's fine. But wear clothes that make you feel like your higher self. Start changing what you're doing. And yes, you can do it. You can do all these steps before you get there with the money wise. You can still embody these things. You have to take action like the version you want to be, not like the person that you're trying to get away from. You don't need proof to believe. You have to create proof to believe. Abundance mindset means someone else's success doesn't take away from yours. When I started embodying this mindset at such a young age, I stopped any form of jealousy. You hear so many people they're so jealous of people. Oh, it must be nice so-and-so has this or can do this. I'm the type of person that I feel no jealousy. I'm happy for other people. If I'm talking to someone that does well and is successful, I love to ask questions and to get information. I'm never there like jealous. I always take the stance of wanting to learn more and get the knowledge and be happy to hear other people's success. I'm never the type of person to feel jealous. And that's a big switch you have to make. If you find yourself getting jealous of other people's success, that is definitely a sign that you need to reprogram your brain immediately. You celebrate others because you know your time is coming too. That is the mindset you have to take on all this.